So it happened again. All too often in the Lost community, people try to gain popularity by faking a search. The Lostwave community especially was hit very heavily by the digital girl OP, but unfortunately, it happened again. This time, by one of the most active posters of the last 5 years, NISKI. And there is undeniable evidence of it. NISKI was the original poster of songs such as Praise for a Change and many more. While it is unknown how many songs of his were hoaxed, it is theorized to be a pretty decent chunk. Now, usually in other media, hoaxes aren't seen as evil or malicious in any way. They're just a way to generate cheap clicks. But in Lostwave, it's very different. Imagine this. You've been searching for weeks, hours a day, every single day, but you get that notification on your phone from the Discord server, confirmed hoax. All that work washed away in an instant. That would make you feel pretty bad, and that's exactly what hoaxers want you to feel. They want you to feel like your hard work has been for absolutely nothing. Now, I've personally done at least 100 hours of searching while making videos, so I know how much it sucks to have all your personal time soaked into one specific thing and have it all washed away in instants. It really does suck. And if you are unaware what I mean by hoax, a hoax in Lostwave is when someone takes an obscure song that maybe doesn't have a Shazam link or any identifiable features and posts it as lost. Even though they do know who the band is, they're just trying to stir up a search and become a popular OP. You can understand how this is harmful. NISKI appears to have done this to have a higher view of himself within the community, but there's really no way to tell why exactly he's done this. If you do anything, do not give NISKI any online traffic. This is exactly what hoaxers want. They do not deserve the spotlight, so from now on, I will not be directly mentioning him in this video. As often with hoaxes, evidence can be pretty hard to find that it is a hoax, and you'd be doing a disservice to the community by just slinging accusations all over the place and tarnishing your name and someone else's name by making those false accusations if you're not 100% sure. That's why I called my friend Person of Distraction. You may know him on YouTube as Now Listening To. I asked how he, Sveda, and Deafy Joe figured out that this was a hoax. Here's what he said.
So that's a good question, because we had some like little hints before the sort of main inciting incident happened. I think what really set the process in motion was us. Maybe I don't remember. I'm sorry. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head, but I can't. But anyhow, he found him this recording on Mixcloud from WZBC, which is Boston College's radio station. And basically, like, you know, NISKI had always said, you know, like, hey, all these tapes that I'm getting are from Boston. You know, his story was that, you know, he was getting these tapes, buying them in bulk from some guy on the internet, and this guy was just like shipping him tapes, and then he was, you know, digitizing them and uploading these, you know, unknown songs online. So basically, we found this Mixcloud account that had DJ sets from this radio station that NISKI's, you know, tapes were from, theoretically. We then went back to NISKI's tape, and we noticed that, like, basically the 5 songs that were on this tape were the 5 songs that were on this DJ set. So they were exactly the same songs in exactly the same order. And we listened to them, and we were like, they sound exactly the same. Because you would imagine that if you're listening to a radio station, like, say, you know, because like I come from, I have some attorneys that, you know, in my related family. Yeah. So I'm used to thinking as an attorney sometimes. I've also taken business law. So, like, you know, like, okay, you know, I would say, you know, if I were to try to defend this, I was like, okay, well, somebody else could have also recorded the same show off of the radio. But the fact that this has exactly the same, you know, audio pops and hisses, and it has exactly the same sort of weird quirks, you know, it sounds exactly like this Mixcloud recording. NISKI was a really, you know, well-known member of the Lostwave community. Obviously, he had his own channel, and, you know, he had actually done a lot of work on identifying some Lostwave songs. Like, personally for me, like, I did a video on the song Erosion, like, you know, maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I actually, you know, talked NISKI up because, you know, he was doing a lot of heavy duty audio analysis, and, you know, he seemed to me like he was, you know, super well experienced in terms of like, you know, he was well known in the community because not only because he had these recordings, but also because he, you know, knew what he was talking about outside of his own recordings. We kind of knew that, you know, we couldn't just say, hey, NISKI's a hoaxer and leave it at that. So basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we weren't, you know, missing something. And then we also, you know, opened a private ticket with NISKI. You know, it was first attempts to try to give NISKI a chance to basically like defend himself. He showed us some like purchase receipts of these tapes that he had purchased, but they didn't say what was on the tapes, and it didn't say who he had bought these tapes from. So it was pretty much like, you know, not proving anything really. And then, you know, we were like, hey, we would like a recording of you playing this tape. We didn't get that until the next day, probably like 18 hours later or 12 hours later, something like that. And when we finally got it, it was, you know, it looked like it was a brand new tape. And so what Joe did is he took the original digital, he took that tape recording that NISKI provided to us as his proof, and Joe compared that to the Mixcloud version. And it was exactly the same recording, but NISKI had digitally slowed his version down by like
0.8% or whatever. Yeah.
So his video was basically the exact same recording as the digital one, but the speed wasn't consistent, which you would expect from a tape because tapes, you know, don't change in speed unless you're, you know, actually altering that yourself.
Yeah.
And so basically that then kind of told us that the original upload was not from and had come from a digital source, had then been speed manipulated and then uploaded somewhere else. Because if the original had come from a tape, there would be some you know, some sort of, you know, flutter and you know, pops and wow from the tape machine, which we only saw in the video that he uploaded as proof, but not in the original, which kind of just showed that the tape that he made. So he made this tape and added the stuff to it to try to prove his own innocence. You know, and once Joe was able to do that, which was like way beyond my skill set, that was, I think, the, you know, nail in the coffin, so to speak. We don't want to just kick this guy out because, you know, he's so well known that, you know, we want to basically like say to people like, here's what we see, here's this evidence we had, and then, you know, as it played out, like more evidence actually came out, and and then he claimed that, you know, maybe 3 or 4 of the songs that he had were actual Lostwave songs, but you know, the vast majority, I think over 100, were these Boston recordings, and those were all, you know, taken from, you know, SoundCloud/Mixcloud from WZBC, various WZBC broadcasts. Obviously, just kind of led to him pretty much admitting that, you know, most of his stuff was hoax.
With this insight from Person of Distraction, I asked him how he would potentially weed out hoaxes so that you at home, when you are doing your own searches, know when and how to figure out if it's a hoax or not. For the casual viewer, the people who maybe want to get into searching but are scared that they're going to search for a hoax and all their hard work's going to be, you know, washed away, what do you recommend those people to do to figure out what is a hoax and what is not a hoax? Like, what are the steps that you take personally?
So, like, the first thing that I would say is to pay attention to, like, sort of like the circumstances of the song, right? So, you know, was this uploaded on What's That Song? And B, you know, if it was uploaded on What's That Song, do we know anything about it? Is the original poster active? What's That Song user is uploading a song and then has, like, you know, disappeared off the face of the earth. It's already a little suspicious that this user has disappeared. And then I would say, like, look at if they have other songs that they've uploaded. So I think, you know, that's something else to kind of look out for, is, you know, like, is the song seem to be edited at a convenient place? And then the other thing that I was saying, I think this is after I got cut off, is that, like, we have a new problem in Lostwave that's, you know, new-ish, is, you know, that now AI has gotten good enough that these programs can basically, like, approximating songs and, like, extending songs. And so, like, I would also look at how long a song has been searched for. Just uploading a song to What's That Song, like, today, or even, like, you know, upload a song to What's That Song a month ago, be a little bit more weary about AI in general. There are some ways where you can kind of, like, get a sense of something sounds, if it just sounds a little off, but that's, you know, going to become more and more of a problem, right? As the AI is getting better every month at making stuff that sounds
Oh, yeah.
more human, which is why I would say, when a song has been posted in the last 6 months, just be a little bit more cautious about it potentially being AI. You could probably at least listen to it and get a sense if it sounds weird, if it sounds like it's a little off.
Of course.
And
with time, the AI checkers and stuff, there's going to be programs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is I'm also kind of hopeful that that there are some detection tools. Like we've gotten, I think, fairly good at being able to detect most of the time. When there's an AI extension of something, we're able to be like, okay, this is clearly just an AI extension. I mean, I think the last thing I would say is ask the community, right? Because the power of multiple people is incredibly useful. There have been a few, like 1 or 2 songs where I would not have thought they were hoaxes, but then someone else would say like, hey, this sounds off. And so like, if you're not confident about something being a hoax or not, you're like, well, this sounds weird, but maybe it's just meant to sound weird. Like asking either on the Lostwave subreddit or on the Find My Mind Discord.
I want to thank POD for sharing his time with me and sharing such great insight for you at home. But there is more to say. It is important that even if someone does hoax, do not dox them, do not dig for their personal information, do not do anything malicious to them. I don't condone that behavior, even though they did something pretty malicious. 2 wrongs do not make a right. I do not condone that behavior on this channel. And if I figure out that you are in my comments doing whatever, you will be permanently hidden from my channel and you will no longer be able to comment. That's how serious of an offense that is. But moving on to a more positive space, I do want to give shout outs to some of the best, most influential creators in the lost media space. Some of these are my friends. Some of these are just really, really good people. But yeah, you should check these guys out. Firstly, of course, it has to be Person of Distraction, now listening to. If you're looking for a very chill, kick back on the couch, pull your popcorn out, listen to this man talk to you for a long time, go check him out. He makes really good, thorough videos, and his background in marketing makes it a very, very fun time to watch his videos. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he pulls you right in. And there's not much flash to it, but he doesn't need it. His storytelling is that good. Go check him out. Next, I'd like to shout out my buddy, Daniel Fript. He's the king of alternate universe Lostwave and just general funny content. And he's been steadily growing. We both hit 1,000 subs around the same time, but I think his content is a must watch. He inspires a lot of joy for this community, and you should go check him out. It wouldn't be a list like this without my friend Ybirds. He was a quintessential part, and still is, to the Lostwave community during EKT, providing updates when the community needed it most. Recently, however, his production value has seen a massive uptick. I mean, his old videos do not even compare to the stuff he's doing now. So go in the description and check him out. This one is special to me. This is my buddy Kali. You might not know Kali, you may have seen one of his videos, but this is a great friend of mine. He may not be a Lostwave YouTuber, but he makes Lostwave videos, he makes music, he makes all sorts of stuff. He's going through a rough time in life right now, and I can't think of a better way to cheer the man up than for you to leave a comment, say we love you, Kali, say some nice things about him if you know him. And yeah, he ran Lost Live with me, our charity event. We raised money for autism, so of course he's a good guy. Go check him out. And last, but certainly not least, Zero, aka Q. Zero has been the go-to creator for everything Lostwave. New songs, solved songs, hoaxes, anything, you name it, she's got it. She's been around for so long and deserves all the praise in the world, so go check her out. Everyone's links will be in the description, so please support us creators. It really helps. Even a like, a comment, a watch. Anything helps us achieve our dream of being creators. So thank you. Big props to POD and Sveta for helping with this video, and to all of you for being a very active community. I personally am very active in my Discord, so if you'd like to chat about anything, this video, whatever, go to the link in the description, sign up, go to my Discord, hop in there. You can chat immediately with me once you get verified. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Get in there. To round this video off, if you do take one thing away from this video, just make sure that its hoaxers aren't innocent. They aren't just doing pranks. They aren't just silly guys. They are deliberately hurting our community on purpose. All right, well, I think this video has served its purpose. Any and all questions or comments are welcome in the comments down below. I will respond to everything. I've been Jordy2X. You've been wonderful. Peace and love, y'all.
Wait, before you go, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. Now, I know that's a big goal, that's a long ways away, but I think with the help of you, I think we can do it. Here are the numbers for the people who are subscribed. I don't know the numbers, I'm not recording it, I'm not gonna go look, but here they are. We need to get that number up, bro. We need to get it up. But yeah, we're gonna hit 10,000 subs before the end of 2025. I know it, and you're gonna help me do it. So hell yeah, hop in the Discord down below, and hey man, I'll see ya. Jordy out.